of Pressure, Pain, Promise, Dr. Nicky Collins is talking to author Carmalita Hawkins about her latest release. Let's listen in.
Welcome back to Life in and Out TV, Women Empowering Women edition. I am so overwhelmed right now because my guests who have shared, a little bit about her story. If you want to know more, you have to get the book. I'm sorry, you have to get the book. Carmalita, how can they get the book?
They can go to the website www.pressurepainpromise.com, and there's a link right on the site where you can order. And there's also a link to my blog. So if you want to see excerpts from the book before you purchase, you can do that there as well.
Great. You have to get this book. I'm telling you, I could not put this book down. Wow. Well, let me. There's something that I want to share out of the book, and it's a half of a statement. But this thing, it jumped off of the page at me, Carmalita, because a lot of us need to know this, that this is not a magic trick. Change, it takes time for change, but change can happen in your mind at any moment. Exactly. All you have to do is make up in your mind and say, you know what, no more of this. No more being abused. No more being misused. No more just sitting on my guilt. No more just allowing things to life to pass me by. That you can be fabulous over 40. In your purpose and in your destiny. I had to get my life. I went through a very nasty divorce some years ago. And a lot of people see me now, they don't understand my story. They don't understand the freedom, where the freedom comes from. The freedom comes from God delivered me out of this situation. I didn't leave, I didn't run. God delivered me out of that situation. And now they was like, oh, Pastor Nicky's doing this. She, the television show, the church. She's married again and all these things, but they don't realize what I had to crawl through. The things that I had to just say, God, if you don't get me out of this, I don't know how. I didn't know if I was going to leave out of that situation alive. And, this is all in the Christian realm. I was a first lady even back then. So I went through some things, but God delivered me out. But it wasn't until I asked him to. It wasn't until I started participating in the process. So this is what I want to read from the book that I know is so true and powerful that Carmalita wrote. I'm going to read the entire sentence. You said, I began to think of creative ways to dig myself out of the financial hole that I was in. Wow. And so I began, listen now, to participate in my own rescue. Oh my God. That is powerful. A lot of times we look for God to do it on his own. Lord, just get me out of this. Lord, just do this. But God, you asked God. You said you began to participate in your own rescue. Ladies, you better start participating in your own rescue. Wow. What does that mean to you? Tell us, how did you just say, you know what, I got to get in this?
Let me tell you what happened. There was a story I heard not so long ago. It was a group of students. They were out on this raft on the river, right? The rivers were rough. One of the students fell overboard. And the student that fell overboard, he was frantic. He was just moving and, every which way he could. And finally, the guy that was on the boat got frustrated. And he yelled at him and said, you need to participate in your own rescue. Wow. And so from that story, I realized I'm frantic. My financial situation, I've lost not one, not two, at least 3 cars, had them repossessed. I bought a house, lost the house to foreclosure. So I had lost some things. But instead of sitting around saying, God, why me? Why me? Why me? See, the Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. Come on. Everything and so that was my petition to God. God, first of all, bless me so I can be a blessing. Stir up the gifts that's inside of me. And it's very important that you're careful about who you're around. Because if you're around the right people, they'll begin to see things in you that you don't see yourself. So I had friends that said, you need to write. Your healing is in your writing. I had friends, my girlfriends here today, who said, you know what, you have too many gifts in you. What are you doing? And so oftentimes we get around the wrong people. We're already in a dead situation. And then we don't have anybody speaking life. So when I got around people that were speaking life into me, while I was in a dead situation, that's when I began to participate. That's when I began to write. And only after I started writing, Dr. Collins, that's when the healing came. When I was writing the book, I would be at the table and I would just stop because I was crying. Because God was removing some things out of me. But as long as I sat there frantic and just moving every which way, I couldn't go anywhere and I couldn't move towards my purpose and my promise.
My God. And you know, that is so amazing because now that you are walking towards destiny, now that you are in this realm of pursuing purpose, you're in another realm now. I don't say level, next level. You're in another realm. That means, you know what? You're above levels. Now you're flowing in what God has for you. I love to see women do that because there were times when I looked for a friend. There were times when I looked for someone to help me, you know, to just speak life into my life. And the only person that I had was Elle. She was there. I was like, Lord, I thought it would be, you know, the people, the pastors, the other women in ministry who I had labored among, but it wasn't them when I started going through, you know, that process. It wasn't them, but it was my kids, it was my son, my daughter, and Elle Michelle, and they stood there and they helped me and they prayed with me. And I tell you, God is so amazing because when you're ready, when you change your mind and you say, you know what, I'm no longer a victim, I am a victor, I am more than a person, I am above and never against me. Lord, you place these gifts and talents on the inside of me. When you start thinking like that, when you start believing that, you can start moving. That's when you know that you are a part of your own rescue. Powerful. And I'm so happy with what God is doing in this city, in the city of Tallahassee, and how the women who have shown up here on tonight is proof that you are participating in it. Now you can look good for real. You're not you can drive your car and not worry about it being taken away. I want you to tell that testimony. I read that in the book. Just a little bit of it, but they're going to have to read this book. I'm telling you, it's so powerful. But can you just tell that testimony about restoration? Because restoration looks good. Don't hide your restoration. Don't you shrink back because people don't understand your glory. They don't know your story. Just because people don't like you, they say, well, who does she think she is? I am a child of the Most High God. You are a child of the Most High God. Baby, you had to pay for that anointing. You didn't steal the anointing. You paid for it. So now you can have the stuff, all of the things, because you're not using it as a shield. You're not hiding behind it. This is what God has blessed you with, and you have to share. You have to share it and show it. So tell us about that, Lord.
Oh yeah. Okay. Like I was telling you before, I had to look the part because, like you said, I was hiding. And I didn't realize I was hiding until my girlfriend April told me you have to come out of hiding in order to be healed. So that's what started that process. So at the time I was driving a BMW. For the past 18 months I was living on my mother's couch. So technically, for all intents and purposes, I was homeless. You know, if I had enough money, I would get a hotel to get a sense of normalcy. If I just wanted to get away, I would stay from friend's house to friend's house if I just wanted to have my own space. So I was going through, but on the outside, when I stepped outside of the house, my hair was done, my clothes were nice, I was driving a BMW, that I was afraid somebody was going to come pick up any day. When I would walk out the house, Dr. Collins, I would peek out the window to see if the car was still there.
Wow.
Because I already had about 3 taken. So this was nothing new. I hadn't paid on
shop at this point.
Right. Yeah. So I'm looking out, and I'm like, God, I'm so far behind. I didn't know I didn't have any income. Living on the couch, I couldn't afford an apartment. Technically, I couldn't afford the car, but I had to look the part. Well, one day I called them, and I said, what's the payoff amount? I owed like $27,000 or something. Next thing you know, this was in October. The very next month, paid the car off. And not only did we pay the car off, they took $10,000 off.
Come on,
So now I can drive and get freedom because it is paid for.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about hiding the car. Now I step out the car, there's when I come out, is the car still going to be there? What are they going to say if I lose my car? I went from a BMW, now I'm walking, now I need a ride. So once I got delivered from people and I started seeking God, God began to bless. But it was not until I stopped running after men and started running after God.
That is one man that we will never lack. He always take care of his bills.
Come on.
He pays his child support. He is not a deadbeat dad. Wow, that is just amazing. I thank God for your testimony. I thank God for your life and for what God is about to do in your life. As long as you continue to seek Him, He's going to continue to open more and more and more doors for you. This story is powerful. It's helping a lot of women. Y'all need to hear this if you're in any situation, any circumstance. God can heal, He can deliver you, and He can set you free. The only thing that He asks us to do is to pay it forward. Do it, be a blessing to someone else. So I just want to thank you again, Carmalita, for coming on, sharing your testimony, sharing about your book. And can you tell my audience again where they can pick up your book?
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an honor and a blessing to be here and to share this story. You can purchase the book online at www.pressurepainpromise.com.
Wow. Awesome. This has been an amazing show. Thank you so much for joining us on Life is Now TV.
Pressure, Pain, Promise, a new book by Carmalita Hawkins. You can order your copy at www.pressurepainpromise.com.